Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the channel. It's Jimmy Trades here for your Monday analysis. We'll get into the charts and have a look at what the week ahead might hold for us. We'll have a look at the calendar, give ourselves a bit of a weekly outlook with the calendar, and get ready to move into Christmas. After this week's done, we're very close to Christmas. Be time for some rest and catch up with family and friends. But before that, we've got work to do. So, first of all, I just want to keep thanking you guys for all the support. The feedback I get's phenomenal, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And the channel is growing, but I need your help. I need your help. My target is to get to 1,000 subs by Christmas. So I need your help to get there. So I'm asking if you can please push the channel far and wide. Share it with your friends and family. Obviously share it with traders, new traders, experienced traders. We collaborate. That's what we do here on this channel. You know, I'm always helping to answer your questions. So please help me get to 1,000 subs. I would greatly appreciate that. If we can get there by Christmas, that would be amazing. And as a thank you, as a celebration of that momentous moment, we will be running a giveaway, a My Funded Futures giveaway of two 50K starter evals. So I also want to thank My Funded Futures for their continued support as well. So if you can help me get there, we can give back to the community. So please do what you can to share the channel far and wide. All right, let's hop over to the calendar. See what we've got in store for this week. And the good thing is we have news every day this week. So not often we get Monday news in particular, but we have news every day this week. So starting off with Monday, we have 9:45 a.m. news. Not my favorite time for news. I do prefer the 8:30 news, but we can't do much about that. So we will remain patient and we will look for positions after open, and in this case, after the news drops. So 9:45, we can start looking to get into the market. So medium to high probability opportunities today. Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. news. Perfect. We can start looking for opportunities. The kill zone actually starts at 8:30. So if you are inclined and want to start looking for opportunities once the kill zone kicks in, that's entirely up to you. Otherwise, waiting for New York Open at 9 for commodities, 9:30 for indices, and then seeking a position. Wednesday, we don't have news till PM. Okay. So for me, I probably won't trade Wednesday. Just because I won't trade the PM session anyway. And with the FOMC projection statement and press conference all happening in the PM, I wouldn't anticipate, price action to be favorable for Wednesday morning. I will definitely be there watching, but that's my expectation for Wednesday. I will also be running the midweek market meetup from 7 a.m. Eastern time. So that'll be live on YouTube. Okay, on Thursday, we have 8:30 news, so that's great. Love to see 8:30 news. So final GDP and unemployment claims. So again, medium to high probability. Looking for positions after news drops. And again, Friday, 8:30 news. So we can start looking for positions after news drops. And again, medium to high probability. So some great opportunity this week as we move into the Christmas period. And I would say as well, if we have a quick look at oil, let's have a look. So we have inventories on Wednesday. Okay, 10:30 a.m. we have inventories. So make sure you keep that in mind if you trade oil. All right, heading over to the charts now. Now, price action and where we're at all-time highs. Okay, here we are on ES. Let's go and start the day on NQ. A reminder also, guys, Apex is 80% off, finishes tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. So using code Jimmy for Apex will get you 80% off all evals at the moment and $125 PA activation fees. Okay, and of course Jimmy still works with My Funded Futures, so you'll still get maximum discount with My Funded Futures if you use code Jimmy. So price, we're located at all-time highs. And I'm actually starting the week off for NQ and ES looking at the weekly, and I'll show you why. So we're at all-time highs. We don't have any points of interest here to work with. So if we move over to the weekly, what we do have is we have this bullish FEG below price. Now, it's not confirmed yet, obviously, but we do have an imbalance here. Order flow is bullish. We can see that it's been bullish for a number of weeks now. Okay. We can see that by simply drawing a trend line, and price has been moving consistently upward for a number of weeks. So why would I look to this area as an area of interest? Well, what I'd like to see, if price does continue to move higher, that we put in a low and come into to rebalance this imbalance that's occurring here before we continue on to all-time highs. Okay, so potentially looking for an open, low, high close type of week. So from a weekly profile, we'd be open, low, high, close. Okay, that would be the weekly candle. On the daily, currently, I'd be looking to see if price respects this 50% level of Friday's wick. Okay. If we continue to displace through this level, then we may end up continuing to all-time highs even today. So neutral for NQ. I want to see what Monday does. I want to see how Monday plays out, where we go to. We do have a volume imbalance here. It'll be interesting to see if price does run lower. What have we got on the 15 minute? So you can see on the 15 minute, we have the session lows for both Asia and London are mitigated. So this area will act as a draw on liquidity, okay? And we can see that we've got relative equal lows for Asia as well. So at open, we'll be looking for potentially a due to swing higher and then price to run the lows. Let's move over to ES on the daily. So ES on the daily, we've got relative equal lows. And again, we're not located at a point of interest. So on the weekly, I don't often go out to the weekly, but when I don't see anything crystal clear on the daily, then I'll have a look at the weekly and see what the weekly has to offer. So we can see last week's candle was an inside bar, meaning that price did not reach the high or the low of the previous week. So it's an inside bar. And generally, when we have an inside bar, whichever way price closes through, we'll see price move in that direction for a period of time. Could be 1 day, 2 days, I don't know. But what I'm saying is if price does run the low here, we get a close outside, then we might see price do something like this. Or vice versa, okay? What we do have is we have a bullish FEG below price, okay? Which is why looking at price to run lower into this bullish FEG and then potentially move higher for new all-time highs. So I am going to be neutral on ES as well. Again, seeing how today plays out. Let's have a look at the 15-minute. We can see ES took the Asia session low. What we do have though is the London low. We do see relative equal lows. So again, a nice draw, and have a look at these equal lows here. There's not even a wick to the downside. Okay, so a great draw on liquidity, just resting down there. Okay, let's hop over to oil on the daily. So this is my target from last week, and price was certainly heading in that direction. So what I'll be looking for at the moment is if price respects the 50% range of Friday's candle. Let's have a look at the weekly range. So the weekly is a little bit choppy. We have just been chopping around. Again, we could also look at the weekly range and see what price wants to do. So do we continue lower here today, test this level? We do also have this, there's a small bullish FEG here. You know, will we see price test this level and run the highs, preferably like that, so we have our unicorn. But initially, this is what I'll be watching today. I'll be watching to see how price reacts to the 50% level of Friday's range. Now, what we see as well, we have no wick to the high side. So this is the open. We can see here that price closed here on Friday, and then when we opened at 6 p.m, I mean, look at the gap there. So we gapped up and then we sold straight off. So there's not even a wick to the high side. So for me, that's a nice draw on liquidity. Obviously, we've been targeting the highs here. Got equal lows. We're seeing how price reacts as we move lower. Maybe we'll sweep these lows and then continue back higher. But just being objective to price. We just want to remain objective to price. We don't want to influence the charts. We just let the charts tell us what they're doing. These are just ideas, concepts. Okay. So I'm bullish on oil because I do want to see that high taken if we do respect this level. Okay. Let's just duck back to the hourly. Do we have a change in the state of delivery? Not yet. Let's have a look. Actually, we do have a change in the state of delivery just here. But for me, we do have that displacement, so this is something we can keep an eye on. This price run higher, respect this level and continue lower. Generally speaking, I want to see this sweep come out of a point of interest, so a high or an FEG or something like that. We haven't got that here. We've actually put in a failure swing, right? We do have displacement, so let's keep an eye on this. Let's see how price reacts. If we do get a run higher, do we respect these opposing candles before continuing lower? Or do we in fact run through? Moving over to Euro futures. So I was looking at the weekly here as well, and on the weekly, we are moving from internal, so IRL, internal range liquidity, to external range liquidity. So I've put in the weekly range here from last week, 50% level, and you can see we're currently respecting that level if we drop to the daily, albeit that we have put in equal highs here. But I wouldn't be surprised with some sort of retracement. You know, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive sell-off days here. After sweeping the highs. And here's a good example of putting in, so price opened, this is the weekly range open, high, low, close. So a good example of the weekly range from last week. So bearish using the weekly time frame. We might not run bearish today. We may run higher before we continue to move lower. Let's have a look at gold. Okay, so on the daily time frame here, price has moved out of this bearish FEG here. Oops. We hit this swing high and then we've moved lower. We then closed through this bullish FEG here, therefore mitigating it. And again, we've closed through this bullish FEG here as well. Now we have swept previous day low. So I'm looking for price again to see if we do run higher, do we respect this 50% level of the previous day's range before continuing lower. So I am bearish. I'm anticipating the bearish trend to continue. We have this low resistance liquidity through here, and we would be pushing into, if price does continue lower, into a bullish FEG at these swing points. So that would be a time to be able to reassess and then look to see if price wants to move higher from there. But in the meantime, mitigated this FEG here. We've mitigated that because we've seen it close through. So So I'm bearish on gold. So I did a little bit of weekly analysis already, and you can check that out in the Discords. So on Dixie, we had this swing candle here close inside the range of the previous week, which was in a bullish FEG. So even though we had quite a bearish wick here, like a seller's wick, we did close back inside the range out of a bullish point of interest. So you can see then the following week closed bullish, and we got a nice close above the previous week's high as well. So what I'm looking for is price to run lower, respecting the 50% level of the weekly range before we continue to see higher prices, and look for this level as a target. So bullish for Dixie. Let's have a look at, let's go and have a look at crypto for a second, because Bitcoin has been playing out quite nicely. So if you go back to last week's videos, this is what we had marked out. I haven't done anything here. The only thing I've done to this chart is I've added in a target. And how did I come up with that target? With our standard deviations, if we just zoom out a little bit, we have this swing point here. This is the leg that swept liquidity. I've run the projections off of there, and I always target the -2 to -2.5. So I've had a target of around 111,000 for a while now. Not surprisingly to see Bitcoin has sold off from its high today. I'm sure there's people cashing out. But we could see that we did take, price went lower before moving higher. Got a nice little wick out of this bullish FEG and continued higher. We've swept a high here now. So we can move this. Looking for something like this to occur. Moving back into this imbalance. Filling this imbalance and then moving. So we'll leave that on the chart and see what happens. Let's have a look at GBP. Clear that chart up. So we're currently located at a bullish point of interest. So we swept the low here. Still inside previous day's range. Today is still inside previous day's range, which is good. So let's have a look and see if price has a willingness to move up into this gap. So bullish for today on GBP. Have another look at gold. I think there was something I wanted to look at gold on the weekly. That's right, I want to look at the weekly. I mean, crikey, have a look at this wick. This wick here from last week. This shows, almost shows its hand, okay? We have, on the weekly, moved in, swept this high. We've completely rebalanced this imbalance. We've all the way to the top of that FVG and then sold off. We sold off and closed back inside the range of the previous week's candle. So I'll be looking, as I said already, bearish, but I wanted to point this out. It's a good example of this swing point getting swept with a strong close, like a very large seller's wick, close in price inside the range of the previous week. All right, guys, let's end the video there today. Thanks for tuning in. Just a reminder to please sub, please like the video, and feel free to leave comments. I always answer every comment. I do appreciate the interaction, and it obviously helps with the algorithm to push the channel to more people. So please, again, as I said already, help out. Let's get this channel to 1,000 subs. If you appreciate the content, you know, I'm not planning on stopping, so let's get it out there so as many people as possible can see it. Remember, and a reminder, for the 80% off for Apex ends tomorrow night at midnight, and you can always get a discount using code Jimmy for Apex and My Funded Futures. All right, guys, have a great Monday. Trade patiently today, and we'll be back tomorrow for more. Bye for now.